Hello, Shikin.
Hello.
Yeah, hi. We are actually live. We did it.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hey, hey, we made
Uh,
it. Okay,
yeah.
just going on, getting me so excited.
I know, right? So, good afternoon, everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us on this Sunday afternoon to spend 1 hour with us to talk about something that is close to mine and Shikin's heart. Traveling, right, Shikin?
Yes,
Yeah.
traveling.
Yes. So, okay, I'm a bit have a technical error. Can you start talking first, Shikin? Let me open up something.
Sure. Okay, so hello everyone. I'm Chikin from the Wander Curator. Actually, I'm just half of the team, lah. Okay, because together with me, I have my husband as well. My other half, he's Chao Chia. I think I'm not sure whether some of you, if I have family and friends watching. Hello, are you guys ready with your tea tidbits? I have tidbits also.
I feel like I need popcorn today,
Oh, I won't have time to have popcorn because I'll be busy, like, talking my mouth off. So please let me know if I'm getting too enthusiastic and then, it's too exciting for you and I'm speaking too fast. Let me know, okay? Can Atika?
Yeah. Thanks for the
Okay, so anyway,
introduction. Yeah.
yeah, we actually I have not finished explaining myself in terms
Oh,
of
okay.
intro.
Please continue.
I do have my husband who is a travel and photography enthusiast. So together we form a team called the Wander Curators lah. So we actually do a lot of curation. We like to curate our stories and photos of our travel experiences. So we're independent travelers. The Wander Curators mission actually is to inspire. We curate because we curate what we really hold dear, all our travel moments and memories. We also love to help plan trips for others and also help create like travel keepsakes. So in a way we like to inspire people to also seek and explore as well. So it's part of actually our mission. It's kind of aligned with yours as well. We want to help you to grow your tribe, your travel tribe, yeah, of fellow travelers. Mm.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah,
Yeah.
over to you, Anika. I don't think you have really introduced yourself.
Yeah, if not, because I lost my script for a while there. Yeah, we have a script because it's our first live video. We wanted to make sure that we stick to the point. So something about
Yeah.
Shikin and myself, I think we both like to talk, I think, and we might go out of point if we don't have a proper script. Like now, we've already gone out of point. So Shikin said that she is half of Wonder Curator. So if that leaves me to be 1/5 of Familytrippers, because there's 5 of us in Familytrippers. I mean, we are a family of 5. Um, yeah, so basically Familytrippers was born from the desire to share more travel stories. Actually, we were looking for travel stories and tips on
Mm.
traveling for children. We wanted to start traveling when we had our first child. So we wanted to look for, like, who can we travel with? How can we travel with a kid without going crazy or anyone, like yeah, getting lost along the way and all that. So we thought that since there seems to be none, at least in the local context, we can't seem to find something that we can get information from. We
Mhm.
decided to create our own. So that's how it was born, Familytrippers. So we've been traveling quite a bit with our 3 children now. We have had 3 kids along the way. So we've been traveling quite a bit with them. And yeah, and Japan is one of our more recent destination, which we went back in 2017. Okay, maybe not so recent lah, but 2017. Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, so we've introduced ourselves. So a bit about she can have shared about herself also. So actually, we are going on to the topic proper, which we'll be talking about
Mm.
Japan. It's actually a 3-part series. So today is the first part. We have 2 more parts after this. Actually, we wanted to do only one session, but then we realized that the things
Yeah.
that we wanted to share were just way too many, and we wanted to, like, show people visual. So Wonder
Yeah.
Curator has excellent photos, so we wanted to show you some of
Oh,
these photos
thank
that
you
we have
very much.
taken. And
Yeah,
I
we
think I have
really also want to thank you also, Atika, for allowing us this opportunity, to come on board with your new platform and also to just share whatever. I mean, it's very meaningful to us, and we really hope that everyone else who's listening and watching this will also find them enjoyable and also useful, hopefully, when they want to plan their trips. Because now it's like COVID time, right? So all you can do is just
Yeah.
plan for the future.
Plan, dream about your
Yeah.
trips, add things to your
Yeah.
bucket list, and when this COVID is finally over, when we can really, really travel, then and execute your plans, right?
Yeah.
I think everybody's doing that. Okay, so on to the program for today.
Mm-hmm.
Why Japan? That's the first part of the question. So actually, I
Mm-hmm.
had some thoughts on this. So I was like, I think we were talking about it in our last few conversations, right, Shikin?
Yeah.
We've known each other since we were 13, when we were in school, Pinafore. Okay, blue Pinafore, same as your top now.
Same blue.
Yeah, it reminds me of my school colours. Okay. And we've travelled together before. We were actually roommates for one of our school trips back in 1990s. I won't say the year, 2000s, 1990s. We were also
Okay.
classmates in JC. We did history together. And I remember
Beautiful
history in
time.
junior college, one of the countries that we learned was Japan. So
Mm.
we and so I suppose we have a lot of like shared memories of no, maybe not memories, shared interest in Japan. We've learned history together. But remember when we were growing up, things like Nintendo, we were playing with Nintendo. Mario Brothers was like a rage back then. And when
Mm.
we were in secondary school, there was neoprene started. Remember neoprene? The neoprene culture was quite crazy. I spent quite a lot of $1 coins and money on neoprene pictures, which are of no use now. But yeah, so we were taking a lot of neoprenes, and at one point of time, a few of us had Tamagotchi pets that we were keeping, and all these
I
were
don't
good.
know
And
Nintendo.
you didn't have that? You didn't have?
No, no Tamagotchi for me.
You didn't have? I had like the Tamagotchi pets. Yeah, but that's like our growing up years, right? So it's not a surprise that Japan is a culture that we have kind of like lived, breathed in a way, or yeah, have experience with like in a way. So
Yeah.
what about you? What's your thought about Japan?
Totally, same here actually because I have the same memories of you. I mean, come on, the neoprints are still on my diaries, and every time I want to feel good and young again, I just go back and read all the rubbish inside. But really, we do have. I remember I actually do have pictures of you and I together with
Mm.
all of our other friends as well. So
Probably had
that's
a
a
few
really
notes of that.
like
Yeah.
special memory. Yeah, and I think for me, Japan is. I mean, we grew up with everything Japan, isn't it? Like we had my mom's national washing machine, which lasted for like over 20 years, I think, before she finally switched to a Samsung. Oh no, from Japan to Korea. But when I had my dad bringing us to supermarkets like Yaohan, and of course, Japanese food. You have had about like thousands of sushis when we go to like Isetan after school on our way
Backside.
to school
Code word
straight
backside.
to look at their sushis to eat. And I still go to, the Isitana supermarkets now because now the sushi aisle in supermarkets is like a regular thing. So yeah, we do grow up with Japan. It's become like so familiar and at the same time comforting, like what you said. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, sushi is still very much my comfort food. So I tell my colleagues all the time, if you see
Mm.
that I'm very stressed, right? Please bring me for sushi, bring out for sushi. And so we do that. Yeah, it's like really my comfort food until now. And I've actually taught my number one child, my first son, to eat sushi. So now he's my sushi companion. So during
Wow.
circuit breaker, we ordered sushi 2 times, and two of us were enjoying our sushi. So yeah, comfort food,
How about
yay.
your, how about your dad?
Yeah. So, but okay, but honestly, Shikin, even though we kind of like were exposed to Japan culture and things that they created, like, back then, I think the desire to want to
One more
visit.
thing,
Sorry, yeah, go
forget
ahead.
Hello Kitty.
Oh my God, the McDonald's Hello Kitty craze, right?
Yes, I must bring it up. I'm so sorry to interrupt you. I know you're moving on to the next point, but Hello Kitty. Oh no, no. Actually, yeah. I think that was one thing I remember very, very clearly. Like Hello Kitty hair clips, toys, dolls, and then not then later on you have the McDonald's plush lah. Okay, but I'm sorry I interrupted you.
It's okay, it's okay.
Maybe I can go back
It's
to
okay. I mean, have our notes, gave a lot of notes. But yeah, Hello Kitty. I'm not really a Hello Kitty fan lah, but my sister is a Hello Kitty fan. Yeah. But I was saying that actually the desire for me to want to actually travel in Japan, right, was actually fueled the year there's this organization that I joined, one of my previous workplace. So colleagues were talking about how they love Japan, and there was one particular year everybody seems to be going to Japan to travel. So I'm like,
right.
what's so great about Japan? We need to go and find out. So actually, it's that year that I planned for a Japan trip with three of my friends. Yeah, and we made it happen. And yeah, it was interesting because when I arrived at the airport, I think I shared with you previously as well. I met my boss at the airport, and he is the one who he was one of the people who actually inspired me to want to go to Japan. He goes
Uh,
Japan every year. I think even now he probably goes there every year to I don't know, recharge or refuel. Or, yeah, so that's like his annual pilgrimage is to Japan.
yeah.
Yeah. So what about you? So when do you
No,
start
same.
exploring Japan?
It's same. It started with like my dad. He's always like sharing stories about his Japan work trips, and he'll be telling me about like Tokyo Disneyland, all the scary tunnel boat rides, the Star Wars cargo ship rides. I'm not
Mm.
sure why he's going on rides during his work trip, but I'm sure he was having fun. And I also had like same as you, I had colleagues, bosses who just love everything about Japan. We always hear about their holiday stories, and I think, yeah, so it actually like builds onto the familiarity that we already have with Japan growing up. We have all those like things that we grew up with, the TV drama, the Power Rangers, and also now we are, when we are working as adults or young adults, we're actually hearing people around us, reminiscing about Japan again as a travel destination. So interestingly enough, for me, I actually did not have Japan on the top of my travel bucket list, or even like in the top five or something. I was a Europhile in uni days lah. But other than that, I think it was because of that familiarity. I thought I know a lot about Japan already. Maybe later. Yeah. Yes, Japan is awesome. I
I
love
know,
that
I know
later on.
Hafiz totally love Japan. Yes, they and for him when
I
he goes
love
to
that
Japan, it's like
later
a
on.
food trip. It's like a foodie trip lah. Like they go to all the best halal places, and yeah, and in fact, when I was planning for my Japan trip, I referred to their posts on where to go and where to to try good
Mm.
food. So yeah,
They are they are
I
the excellent authority on where to eat,
when
and
it comes to
also
food, right?
yeah, all the yummy eats in Japan. But
Yeah,
I was
man.
also saying, right,
Mm.
actually the other reason why I think Japan is like grows on me, or as a travel destination right now, is also because I married my husband. And Chow Chow is like
Is he
the
Japanese?
of all things Japan. A Gundam. He's like forever dragging me to like go and look for Gundams in hobby points in Singapore, in Akihabara. When we went to Tokyo first, that was the first thing that he was googling for, the yellow submarine store. And he also like loved everything from, I don't know, Hayao Miyazaki, the Studio Ghibli films. He also loved like food, of course, and Hello Kitty. He's actually a closet Hello Kitty fan. Okay, I'm
And
sharing this with you. Oh, look, he wants to show you his
Chow Chow, is that
collection.
yours? It's yours. How many do you
It's like,
have? 200?
yes, it's his. How much was it?
200?
I do not
300
want to
collection?
don't share with me. I'm very scared to go on screen and tell her.
And you wanted to
Yeah,
add on again, wanted to add on that actually, Japan is a country, a destination for all ages. So I remember
mm,
when I first went in 2009, I went with a group of like I mentioned three friends, right? And two of them were moms by then, and they had one kid with them. They brought one kid each, lah. And I felt that it was quite kid friendly, like stroller friendly. So it is a destination for all ages. Like that's why it is a top destination for Singaporeans and Singaporean families, lah. So that's why I guess
yeah,
as family trippers, we are quite interested to talk about Japan. Then that was first in our list also, right? We wanted to
yeah.
choose a destination. Yeah, yeah.
I totally agree, because I mean, actually, I mean, I know I'm agreeing a lot with you, lah. But the difference is that, I mean, I don't have children yet, but all around me there were families traveling with us when we were in Japan, and there was something that struck me, that it was easy to. I guess it was a place where families like to be. And it's interesting. I even like you. You met your boss in the airport. Right? I met like people I have not met for a very long time, or even friends that we are so like loving the fact that we're meeting each other right in the middle of Japan, and without even planning to. So I think it's a very popular place indeed, like what you said. I think the other thing is that it is very fuss free. It's very safe, and it's also something that I realized it is easy to plan for, even if you don't have much time. At least I'm giving a qualifier, because I'm actually planning for me and my husband as well, but we have also been planning for others, and also for others who actually have children, or extended family. And we do find a lot of information as one that's helpful for us based on our experience, and also the fact that we had a lot of um, what do I say? It's that idea of accessibility appeal.
Mm,
So I
Yeah,
think that is something
yeah.
that I can really
Yeah.
appreciate lah. Yeah, and I'm sure
But
other
even though
people.
having said that it's accessible, I said that it was stroller
Yes.
friendly, like in 2009. But there are some challenges. So because I went recently in 2017 with my two kids back then. So there were some challenges that I think families might face in Japan. Or maybe you just need to know how you can like work around them or prevent from
Yeah.
getting into these
Yeah.
positions, these situations. Lah. So I think that's something
Mm,
we can talk about at the next session.
yeah.
But part two will be talking about some common uh, itineraries for Japan, where you should go, the must-see places, and some tips from myself on how do you bring kids to Japan. So that's one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and part three, when we go on to part three, we'll talk about the unique experiences in Japan, like the off the beaten path. I think that one I will leave it to Shikin to share more of because my Japan trips were practical standard trips lah. I have not had the time to research different places, but yeah, so we can
Go
look forward to
trip.
part three for more unique experiences of Japan holidays.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So,
That's
and I
great.
think there's one reason why this topic today is on the four seasons in Japan, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
because last year, Shikin and her husband had the privilege of witnessing all four seasons of Japan, right? Tell us more about this. Yeah.
Yes, we actually, I mean, the milestone that our most significant Japanese milestone is probably, I mean, Japan milestone rather, was actually in the recent years, we have actually managed to see Japan in the different seasons. And we realized after we traveled that, hey, we actually have seen Japan in all four seasons. And it's not something we like totally plan, from the start, but it just happened that way. We have seen Japan during the Sakura season, which is in the early part of the year. And we also have been to Hokkaido and finally ticked Hokkaido off our travel bucket list because we have always been wanting to go to Hokkaido. So we went to Hokkaido in summer, and then we had a trip where we went to different parts of Japan. And this time round, also combining it with a travel trip, or rather a travel leg with my sister and my niece. So that took us all the way from West Japan to the far-flung north of Hokkaido. So it is really, I realized, quite epic in retrospect.
It does
Yeah,
sound like
so I just we were sieving through the photos and all, and so it was really great that you're asking us to do this. So you're really putting us, on track to actually collate, curate, and get our memories together in a very meaningful way. So yep.
yeah, and now we have this video to actually add on to your memories. So you have really
Mm.
captured everything together. Yeah. Okay, so let's move on now to the first season. I think we're going to go by season.
Yep.
So which season do we want to start with, Shikin?
Let's, of course, we shall start with spring, where everything, where it all begins and everything is pink, white, and sweet.
My tudung, pink.
Yes, start everyone on a sweet note. And then we end winter because it's blue.
Ah, yeah. Perfect. Okay.
Can you see
Um,
my living room portrait? It's actually
uh-huh.
Kyoto. It is
Oh,
winter. Yeah, so we will end on
nice.
a spring and on a nice white note.
Okay, sure. Okay, I will bring up your slides now.
Yes, so I'm very excited to share about spring. Spring is very, spring is actually the reason why I think we probably fell in love with Japan. And there's a lot of reasons for it because when we see spring, the first thing we think about is wow, beginnings, awakenings. Japan is spring in Japan is like a new season. It's a season for new beginnings, so new awakenings, all the joy. You can really see it reflected on people's faces in the way they move, behave, and interact with one another. Everyone's very happy, and I think that in itself was something that was an interesting sight to see because, as you very well know, I mean, we have encountered Japan. We understand the Japan that we have understood or have come to understood is a Japan that's very like polite, proper as a society. The Japanese are very well known for their, politeness, courtesy, propriety, and even maybe a little, reserved in terms of their behavior. So I guess this is something very novel for us because when we went when we went to Tokyo for our first Sakura viewing trip, we call it Sakura viewing then, it's interesting because we saw really a lot of people, just a lot of Japanese and a lot of local Japanese as well as tourists. They are very uh, exuberant. They were very friendly. They were very forward. They had a lot of, like, they were having a lot of fun lah. So I thought to myself, we were thinking about how come, this is not the Japan that we are so used to knowing. So I remember what I said, like, when I go to Japan, what I come to realize that there's always something new and something interesting to discover, or even a perception, a misperception that I can correct. This is the time when the Japanese have fun, and I wonder why. Because and because of that, I've come to realize the importance of the Sakura season, because the Japanese appreciate beauty, and they understand that beauty and perfection, they don't last. It's very transient. So I think the season of spring actually embodies that transience in beauty, and it's enough reasons for them to celebrate, because they celebrate and they live their life according to the rhythms of time, the passing of time. So every season, and Sakura season, has a lot to celebrate. So as I was saying, everyone is invited, everyone is a guest. We actually see a lot of people come together. Our first trip, we had people actually inviting us randomly to a Sakura party. It was a neighborhood party with a school group, and there were, I think, a lot of grandmas sitting. They were actually, I think, guardians for the children, and they were with their teachers. I'm not sure what was really. We were just sitting there admiring the trees, and we got invited. We were given like coffee, cakes and a sandwich. So it was interesting for us. It was really like a very pleasant surprise. Yeah, everyone is really like a guest in one big giant party. And this giant party is actually the Hanami. I would call it Hanami as a Sakura viewing or flower viewing season. So it's a flower viewing ritual that the Japanese have in spring. So other than the viewing of the flowers, the cherry blossoms on the trees, you also have like plum blossoms, and the small little flowers called shibazakuras. This is something that everyone delights, in partaking. Yeah. So and it can be like a day and night thing. You can have sakura picnics in the park with your friends, with your fellow retirees, or even like dates as a couple. You can actually go for night festivals, because they will light up the entire neighborhoods. We have districts like if you want to go see like the sakura, in the night and very spectacularly lit, you can go to like the Nemeguro River area, and then the entire district will be like lined with like pasar malam stalls and all. So it's like amazing seeing the Japanese on their fun side, and everyone's getting a little high on the flowers. Yeah, so
that's interesting, because that's interesting, because that's not the Japan that I've seen. I've not seen Japan in pink, like the pink sakura flowers and all that. Yeah, it's I've only been to Japan, to be honest, in autumn and winter, so this is a very unique experience. And the Hanami party, I cannot imagine that, because I've never gotten invited to any parties in Japan. Like, I don't see people celebrating or what. Maybe because autumn and winter is too cold, so there's no celebration. But yeah, it's really interesting. I think I'm going to put this back into my bucket list. Like, put Japan in my bucket list, and to go in spring. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
I think if you're not been to Japan, right, for the first time, or even if you have to go to Japan once in your lifetime, going to watch the sakuras, going during the sakura seasons would really be a very nice way of remembering Japan by. Yeah, and it's like what you said. It's everything is all pink and sweet. We have everything from the people watching to the sakura themed food, like the sakura mochis. You have those like little cute rice cakes and the sticks. We had like sakura bentos. I even like had Starbucks had sakura drinks. I mean, you can see that in Singapore, but over there it takes a very interesting it takes on a very interesting significance, because everything is like all pink in celebration.
Actually, I did see sakura before the circuit breaker in I think in February or March. We went to the Gardens by the Bay, and we did see cherry blossoms.
Yes, that's
It
right.
was
Yeah.
it was pretty. It was very pretty. So I can imagine that if it's the whole of Japan covered with the flowers, I think it'll be amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
one thing,
Okay.
we can't drink in a flower dome. So when you go around the festivals, right, you can eat, drink. You
Yeah.
can also like get your own. Okay, what we did was we actually like get like Coke bottles, which
Oh,
is one of the other
oh, that's so
last.
pretty. There are flowers on it.
So this is actually the
Oh.
Sakura Coke bottle collectibles, and
Hmm.
we got them from vending machines. Although you can find them in souvenir shops as well, but for a higher price. If you want the cheapest
Hmm.
price, go to the vending machines. Yeah, so I think it was about 200 yen to 300, maybe about
Hmm.
$1 to $2 each. So you can't drink that. I mean, for those of you who can, there's the Sakura like pink themed bubbly champagne.
Hmm.
That the stalls or the people actually sell. That you can drink. And while you walk and stroll under the sakura trees, and watch the blossoms, yeah. But if you can't, then book works, because that was what we were holding on to as we walked around Meguro River.
Right. Interesting. Okay, so maybe we move on to the next season.
Yes.
So from spring we move on to, I believe we move on to summer. We go by the
Hmm.
natural order, right? Of
Yep.
of the seasons. Okay, summer. How about next? What was
Yeah.
summer like in
Okay,
Japan?
summer. Okay, actually, summer is the season that's least known to us. Probably because we haven't really quite spent,
Mm,
spent time in Japan in the height or the peak of the summer
mm,
in the different places. Like for example, I think when we went on our first trip to Tokyo in 2013, we were actually expecting to be in early autumn, but we just happened to catch like the last heat of summer in that year, and it was super um, hot and rainy. And that's why I say this: everything is green, rain, and adventure. And but the season of summer is really about that. Everything is green. Everything is very nice and hot. Rainy, depending on where you are, and definitely you'll be encountering a little bit more intermittent or unpredictable weather patterns. But it is certainly a season for adventure. So I think that was something that really appealed to us, because number one, we are hiking enthusiasts. We are nature enthusiasts as well. We love to be outdoors as much. So you can imagine how much suffering we're undergoing right now, being cooped up at home. Okay, but yeah, the
Every
idea here
season.
is that you can just go out there. You don't have to worry too much about the trails are open, the sites are open, even the animals are coming back to life. So we went to Hokkaido in summer 2019, and that was that last minute trip that I was talking to you about. Yeah, we planned like book our flights 3 days before, and we managed to get a good, we managed to get a good deal for our flight. So that off we went.
A good deal?
Yeah,
I
yeah, we
love
did.
deals. So tell us about deals. How much was it?
I think I spent about 300 plus on my Air Asia flight.
Hey,
So
Asia flights. Okay.
it's a budget flight, yes, but it was comfortable, more comfortable than I expected. I think I only spent about 1 hour plus 2 hours transiting, I suppose. It was a comfortable time to transit also, between 8 to 10. And then by the time you get on to the next plane, the longer leg, you just need to go to sleep. It was a very big, spacious A330, I think, and there were a lot of space on board. So a lot of people are just like bringing their blankets and just lying down and sleep the night away. The next morning, you're already in Sapporo. So that was like a amazing deal, amazing find for us. Yeah, so do try that. Sometimes you can get all these deals. I hope they will still be there. Yeah, and when we went to Japan, our reason, I mean, for going to Hokkaido was to find adventure, to see what Japan has to offer. So we actually went a little bit off the beaten path. I'm not going to talk too much about the itinerary for that road trip, but I just really wanted to point out that you do get uh, a lot of offerings, like the wildlife viewing, the flowers coming up. We didn't go in the peak of summer. I think for Hokkaido, summer is like August, and you will get the full flower fields in Furano. But you will definitely already have the melons out there. You can experience all the lavender cakes, cheesecakes. You can go on a cruise and on like to the far end of Hokkaido, and look for the bears or the orca whales. There's orca whales. You don't have to go all the way to Norway to do that.
Oh wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Because of
Interesting.
proximity to Russia. So Hokkaido really holds a lot of surprises for us. Yeah, so I don't think we had enough, although it was like a 12-day trip.
Chop chop.
But
Summer in Japan is which month to be the peak of summer? Will it be like
it
July?
depends on the different parts of Japan,
Mm,
I suppose. So
okay.
for Hokkaido, the peak of summer would be much later. So when we went early June,
Uh,
we are actually just hitting early summer. There was still
okay.
a lot of us. We experienced all seasons actually. To be honest, we went from fog, we went to snow. Yeah, I believe there was green in Furano, and then we had a snow blizzard in
In
the side
June.
Daisen.
In
Yes,
June in Japan. Whoa. Okay.
yeah, Daisen National Park. Okay, I don't
Oh.
want to scare travelers off, but then after that we had typhoon weather. But that was related to the typhoon, not because it's Hokkaido. So we experienced quite a bit. It was cold, but it was really nice in a way. There was no one. There was not no one, but there wasn't so many people. Not as many as later on when we were in Hokkaido for winter. Yeah. So
Okay. That's interesting. And I saw the photo of the fireworks. So I think we were talking about
yeah,
Matsuri
fireworks.
Fireworks
Oh, I'm so
Festival, right?
excited. I went over. I'm so
So
excited. I went to the food already.
yeah, so in like I know in like Tokyo, for instance, like it's very common for couples to be going for fireworks, watching together. And I learned this from Terrace House. I've been watching the reality series Terrace House for quite a bit, and there was one episode where they went. This guy
I
invited
haven't
a
caught that.
girl to catch fireworks, but she rejected him, and then he went all alone and looking at the fireworks. So sad. But so it must be a pretty romantic experience to do summer in Japan, right? Yeah. Okay, let's move on to the
Yeah,
next
that's true.
season. Yeah,
Yes,
next
I'm
season of
excited one.
autumn. Yeah,
Yeah. Actually, I
and
realized, yeah, I missed showing you the sakura flowers. I think there was a slide there earlier, but we kind of missed it. But it's okay. I actually have a blog post on that, so we'll talk about that a little bit more later once I've like touched on the different seasons. Okay, but
okay.
let's go to the food. Okay, yeah, I
Oh,
think the other thing about summer is that there's a lot of eating involved. Okay, one thing I realized I'm totally missed out from our collage, but we really didn't have much space here. We wanted to keep to the time. Was ice cream. There was like melon ice cream. So we didn't have melon ice cream here, but we do have the actual melons themselves. You can see. There's a lot of things to try. There's a lot of foods to try. So we really literally ate our way around Hokkaido during our summer trips. But yeah, I mean, we also ate our way around Tokyo lah in summer back then. So actually, I think that was something else that was very fun. In all seasons, but in summer especially because we had all these interesting things to try that will complement our adventure or like road trip in the nice weather when the weather is nice and the outdoors. Yep. So I had the freshest oysters. I had the freshest sea urchin or uni in Hokkaido during summer. But I think what's interesting probably for us is that each place is representative of the harvest of the time and of the season and of the area. So I think for us that was a lot of that's the essence of summer for us lah. Yeah,
yeah.
being out there, going for adventures, trails, forest bathing, and then we have our little comfort pit stops.
Okay, nice. Maybe we move on to the next season, which is autumn, right?
Yes.
Ah,
Autumn.
this is the Japan that I know, the Japan that I've seen. The colors, like in my photo book here, you see, same leaves, same colors, right?
Ah,
I think a lot of
when did
Singaporeans
you do
who
that?
travel to
When did
Japan
you
during
do
the
that?
end year, you'll probably see the same colors as I did. So tell us more
When
about
was
autumn.
your photo book? When was your photo book done?
This was 2009 lah. So
Ah,
before I got
for the
married, before I had kids. So those
mm,
days I was able to produce a photo book within like weeks after or a few months after the trip. But
yeah.
these days I can't. I have a lot of overdue photo books to be made. Mm,
Yeah, that's true.
progress
And
zero.
as well, we had like this book that we made after we went to Kyoto in autumn,
Mm.
and it's like one of the reasons why we went back to Kyoto. You know, we realized that we have to have more photos so that we
To
can come
complete
up
your
with like
story.
more collections. Yeah, more collections.
Mm.
But yeah, actually, autumn is the season. It's our most favorite season because it's the season that we're most passionate about. I think for the Japanese, autumn is the soul of Japan. Really, autumn is the soul of Japan. Like, it's how you see it from like how you see the passage of time. We have experienced the joy of spring and the energy of summer. So when we get to autumn, it's nearing the end of the natural cycle, our season cycle, and we kind of like slow down to just take stock, reflect. So we are kind of like, I think my husband is a philosopher in disguise. So he really, really loves this period of time. And as a photographer, it's also like a crazy heaven for him, really. He just like goes crazy. He can pause in front of a tree for a very long time, or two maple leaves, and just concentrate on getting the right composition to reflect that soul. Yes.
Whoa, okay,
Yeah.
that's intense.
Yeah, so I'm the assistant. I'll hold on to all the gadgets and all the lenses. Oh, change to this one. Yes, and then I'll have like on one hand that, and also on the other hand my maple cake. Because I have to feed myself while waiting for him to be done. Yeah, but yeah, it's the fall foliage viewing. I think it's an activity that is rivaling the sakura viewing in Japan. When we went to Kyoto first in 2015, we didn't see as many tourists, local and overseas tourists, seeing the autumn leaves. So as compared to when we recently went, we actually did our 10th year wedding anniversary photo shoot in Kyoto last year. So we had the really like the I guess the fortune or the blessing to be surrounded by such beautiful, amazing backdrops. So see, these are some of the photos that we took as we explored, not just Kyoto, but also different parts of Japan, like Okayama, Hiroshima, where you have the Miyajima Island, and I think yeah, it is really really worth viewing because of it's just different. Everything is all rich. The colors are amazing. They're deep red, amber, gold, and yeah, those are my favorite moments. Just strolling and just enjoying the cooler weather. Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I thought you have photo of food to share. No.
Yeah, we do. Let's go on to the next one. Oh, my IT technician on the right side.
IT
Because
technician.
yeah, my slides are too far away from here. Yeah, but okay, you can see all the photos of food and things that we can do actually. So going around Japan with all those gorgeous backdrops, right? Okay, so you can take photos. That's one, and all the on the leaves. But if the leaves are just plants to you, and after a while, oh, it's just another leaf. You can do other things like of course, just capitalizing on the bounties or the food offerings that each place has. So I think, like for example, in Hiroshima, we didn't really know that oysters were their specialty. So we actually had like oysters a lot. Yeah, from soups to the fried versions. We can go to Nara in near Kyoto to feed the deer. These are things that we can do while in between all the feeding that we do ourselves. Yeah, and we can also join in on celebrations, quieter celebrations, not as vibrant as the ones that we see in spring during the Sakura or Hanami season. But yeah, there are also celebrations nevertheless. It's about the passing of time and just enjoying the last bits of colors before the whole world, as they say, fade into white. Yeah, so I think our most enjoyable meal was actually a crab kaiseki meal that we had. One thing we really love is that food during autumn really tastes very sweet, very savory. It's very evocative of the season. And when you get really very special ingredients or seasonal ingredients on your kaiseki courses, like for example chestnut desserts, or this fish called sanma fish, and also crab. It's like an autumn specialty in some places. Yeah, it's really experience in itself. It's like experience of the different senses, because not only is it visually appetizing or even delightful, it's also a joy on the taste buds, or even interesting because you may be eating something that you have not really quite tried before, a taste that's put together especially for you. And then you also can cook your own food yourself. Like I was trying to cook this crab over here. Yeah, and it's okay lah. Let me just say that we are very very thankful that they cracked the crab, for you. And then I think we ate like 4 crabs in
Yeah,
one
so
one
Hafiz
night.
Hafiz said that it's cheaper to travel in Japan in autumn. Is the food
That's
cheaper
right.
as well or what?
Yeah, yeah. I think that's true, because I think okay, depending on, let's say for example, if you go slightly just towards the end of autumn or before, where the harvest starts coming in, I think you get good deals. But peak season, I've learned when we were in Kyoto, they have now kind of like brought up the prices a little bit. I think, I guess, to match the crowd size, and probably also
Mm.
because this year was supposed to be Olympics year and all. So they were expecting, gearing up for that tourist industry.
Yeah,
But
that's true. Yeah. And we
yeah,
also realized that in our last trip in Japan that there's abundance of halal food now compared to like in
yeah,
2009. There's a lot of halal food, and I went to I went to the Kyoto Tourist Information Center, and they were telling us that it's actually because of the Olympics. So they are
mm,
trying to ramp up the number of halal food. They even have brochures in the tourist center
yeah,
listing out all the halal places in Kyoto. So we were trying to
yeah,
check out some of them as well. So it's quite amazing. I
yes,
think food is abundance in Japan now for Muslim travelers like us.
yep, agree.
Okay,
Yes,
so actually I have a
definitely.
photo of autumn to show, right? Chicken, can you
Okay.
flash my photo?
Where's the
Oh, this
photo?
one side? No, it's not. Okay, never mind, forget it.
Oh,
I
it's
think
on the
it's a
slide.
wrong deck of slides, but it's fine. Okay, let's move on to the next season, the last season for today. We're
Okay.
talking about
Uh,
winter. Yes. Again,
it's
again, I've been to Japan in winter lah, but in early winter, so I didn't get to see the snow. So
did
this is
you?
something new for me as well.
Okay. Which parts of Japan did you go in winter?
I went to the same Tokyo, Kyoto,
Tokyo.
Osaka.
Okay. They're different. I really think that the landscape gets transformed when it starts getting when the trees leaves fall and you have snow coming down. But yeah, I chose this as the tagline or the caption for the series of photos, because really like white is like the backdrop, and Fuyu is actually winter, and it's similar to what I was saying earlier. According to the passage of time, we have Japan as a passage of seasons, and the rhythm of life has slowed down quite a bit. We're into the long deep sleep of winter, but there's still rituals and customs, reasons for celebrating. So you can celebrate the cold. You can celebrate and enjoy the cold in quiet solitude. Go and find an onsen deep in the woods. And or you can make it a gathering, in a public bath. So you can do onsen hopping because the weather is like perfect for it. And you can also fill your days with lots of action if you pick up skiing, snowboarding and all. But the winter landscape, because it's white, there's lots of snow, it's also marvelous for us, because it's a way for us to also kind of see the contrast when you see all the life coming, into the picture, like the Arctic fox that we met, in our hike, in the middle of like a snow path. It's just amazing that life can actually persist, um, despite all the deadness around lah. But I find it pretty. Even the monkeys, they're very happy. When it comes to snow, they have their own onsen. There's the snow monkeys from Nagano, and the hike to the place was actually not snowy yet. I don't know why the snow came really late last year, but they were really very happy in that environment, and I could just imagine them, all fluffed up before they enter the pool, but after they enter the pool, they're all like kind of shrunken, and they're just sitting there in the steaming water, and all around them it's all white. It's just so amazing to see, I guess. Yep. So the other thing is also when it's white and black, what you get is the perfect backdrop for a lot of light. So Christmas coming up, I mean the Japanese have in Japan, we're starting to see it to be a more festive period as well. I mean they don't celebrate Christmas as much in Japan. I think the one thing I learned was that Christmas, if anything, was the perfect date night for couples. Christmas Eve, I think it was a custom for couples to go on dates, or families to eat fried chicken. So I remember buying fried
That sounds like
chicken.
Korea. Okay. Fried chicken.
Yeah, fried chicken. It was like the best time, 24th December, to eat fried chicken. It's a custom. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, the other thing about winter as well is, I think if we talk about like the action, right, I was saying, it's the idea of having fun. And this is where we have like family fun, where I met my niece and sister, and we were in Niseko in Hokkaido. She had the opportunity to pick up skiing. Then she really wanted to play snow and learn skiing. So we actually saw her really really enjoying herself on the snow, and then she was like whizzing past and she can like learn it and pick it up. Kids are so fearless. They actually picked up in like a day or two, and then you can fall. The best thing about snow is that you can build a yukidaruma, or a snowman, or snow bunnies. Actually, the Japanese children like to make snow bunnies instead. Yeah. Or you can, when you go learn skiing, you can learn skiing as a family, or watch your kids just really amazingly pick up skiing. It's like second nature to them, and it becomes really fun. So I think I didn't have much photos when we were like doing all the skiing and all that, because I didn't want to like sit on my phone and then it cracks and then I'll cry. So we just spent our time really just watching and learning skiing, and watching the little ones. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's
Have
true
a
lah, because Japan skiing holiday is also quite popular among families in Singapore. So it's actually one of the posts that I'm supposed to put up like a few months ago, but I've not put it on my blog. Is a post from a family who went to Japan last year, and and one of the itinerary includes a skiing holiday lah. So that's quite interesting. I think I should put it up this week in time for the next part 2 of our session. Motivated to update the blog. Yay! Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else that you want to add about winter?
Okay, probably the last bit is the yummy food tasting, because it's so cold, right? And if you go to places like Sapporo, I know I'm talking about Hokkaido a lot because that was our experience, but I do know that ski resorts abound in winter. I have a lot of families who go to other places. We picked Niseko simply because of, number one, travel schedule, and we wanted to visit the places in Hokkaido that we didn't get to visit in summer. Yeah, but one thing that is very interesting. I feel very appealing about picking Niseko or Hokkaido as a winter ski or family snow destination is that the powder is one of the softest in the world. It's really like fun to like fall into the powder. You don't like feel anything at all. So I think that's probably why the kids enjoy it a lot, and the adults don't cry too hard. We were crying, okay, after a while. It's not easy. Yeah, and then the other thing is that the food, you get like places like Otaru that is very, very picturesque town, and you can get blanketed in snow very easily when you have like snowstorms coming in from the sea, and it's a very easy day trip from Sapporo. The best thing is that you have the stretch of food, desserts and yummy desserts that you can try. Yeah, so I think that's something that we can also see as an exciting part of winter, that you do all these activities, but you also get to try out and bring back all these Christmas souvenirs if you want to give to your family and friends back home.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, thank you that we have covered all 4 seasons. And I think
Yay! Really.
I think the photos and stories are really great, Shikin. Thanks for sharing.
Mm,
The photos are really
yeah.
amazing. Yeah, and I was going to ask Chow Chow which season of Japan did he enjoy taking photos the most, but I'm thinking maybe all because they're all equally amazing, and I can see the passion from the photos that he took.
I can tell you
Yeah.
honestly which seasons he enjoyed the most lah.
Oh, which one? Yeah.
So he definitely loves autumn the most, followed by
Uh,
spring, I would say, or maybe the other way around. But definitely these two seasons, they stand
yeah,
out
but the
for him.
autumn photos are really great. The colors are like totally pop out, right? So I think maybe yeah, I'm not surprised that autumn is a
Yeah.
favorite.
So if you want to find out more, right, we do have a lot more photos. I have them on our website. So
Mm.
there's blogs. We actually have done up spring and autumn. Then you can really tell, which is our favorite seasons. But yeah, now because of this sharing, we are now geared up to look at compiling, curating the other two seasons as well. Yep. So do go and check it out if you do. If you do have time, we have some more photos for you.
Oh,
And
that's
if you
great.
have some questions, yeah, you can feel free to just ask us. I think I also
Mm.
slotted in the Sakura cherry blossoms forecast. You can actually find it under the spring blog post. So if you do
Okay.
want to check out the cherry blossom forecast that's in 2021, it hasn't come out yet. Probably later on in the second half of the year, coming
Yeah, I will
soon.
check it out. I want to see whether I could catch cherry blossoms in March because I'm
Yeah,
limited to school holidays to travel, right? So yeah,
that's
March
right.
or
So
long
you probably
weekend in April is possible too.
Yeah, we think that it might be possible actually if you do have like school going children, because different parts of Japan experience the seasons, rather the sakura blossoming, or rather blooming in different times of the March April period. So the earliest could be like lower down in the south of Japan, and then ending off with like the north in Hokkaido. They probably blossom like late April or early May. So if you do want to like find maybe a time, it could not be the peak of the cherry blossoms blooming, but the seasons actually start about a week earlier. They only bloom for maybe 1 2 weeks, I guess. Not It's a very, very short period of time. But I did see like for this year, areas of Tokyo may actually have blossoms starting to bloom from the start of the March holidays. So you might
Oh,
actually see it. Yeah.
it sounds ideal. Perfect for a 2022, probably 2022 holiday lah. I don't even know whether I can travel next year in 2021.
True,
So many things are
true.
uncertain at the moment. Yeah, and having
Yeah,
three kids is not very easy to plan for a trip and ensure
yeah.
that everybody's safe and don't touch things and put into their mouth, right? So it's a bit it's a bit scary to travel during this period. But yeah, thank you so much for sharing this.
Thank you.
In fact, we have part two next week, right? We'll be sharing more things next week. Let's look at the slide for part two.
Happy to see that. Next one.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
next week we'll be talking about some of the ideas and tips that you can include in your own Japan trip if you're planning for one right now. There'll be some of the common itineraries that people go for, and from my end, I will also share on some of the tips for families if you're traveling with young children. Where are
Mm.
some of the must-see places, top destinations, top highlights in different parts of Japan. Right, Shikin, on your side, what else can you share with us next week?
Okay. I will try as much as possible to also value add to your sharing of ideas or itineraries. I think the Tokyo, Osaka, or Kyoto itinerary route would be actually offers a lot of possible customizations depending on
Mm.
what you want to go for as a
Yeah.
family. Yeah.
And you
So
get
I
to see
would
different experience of Japan just from these
yeah.
three cities lah. It's I think a lot of families do that because it's very convenient. It's like really just a one route up and then one route down that kind. So it's really very convenient. Yeah.
That's right.
Okay, so that's for next week. I think we've had quite a good session. It's almost 4 o'clock. We're at 3:55 right now.
Oh,
Yeah, I'll
yeah.
see you again next week. We did it! Yay! Okay, goodbye everyone. Have a good
Sunday. Bye.
evening. Bye.